forget.
Everybody, welcome. Here we go. Happy Monday. It is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. You can find streaming online at mattconnarton.com and, of course, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. It is Monday, February 22nd, 2021, and I am not alone.
Jenny, darling, you're my best friend.
Jenny is here. Yes, hello.
I think I'm here.
You're at a little you're at a little bit of a different camera angle than usual.
Am I?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see on the Facebook. It's more of a sideways thing now.
Oh, no, wait.
Instead of direct. No, it looks good. It's
I can't. I'm trying to make it bigger, and I can't. What do you mean? I don't look bad.
I didn't say you look bad. I said
You're
you're at a little.
insinuating it. You're going to give me a complex.
No, I said it looks good. I just said you're at a little bit of a different angle.
Which angle do you want me at?
No, that's fine. I'm just saying the camera itself is at a different angle.
I didn't touch the camera. I never touch the camera. I don't touch
me
anything.
neither. We do not.
I even bring my own headset.
We do not. That's right.
Smart girl. Smart girl has her own.
Little bit.
Has her own. Actually, there's a really good reason for it. So I should say that it's not that bad. I have hearing aids.
You don't want. Oh, I thought.
And my hearing aids fit better underneath my headset that I have that I own than it does other. Others.
I thought you were saying you don't like Daryl Dion's cooties.
I don't like that either, but
yes.
These
cooties.
ones aren't that bad. His old headset was definitely cootie ridden.
Yes.
And I did refuse to use that particular headset.
Yeah,
no offense there, buddy, but yeah.
We don't want to embarrass anybody, but I do remember we brought in a what do you call it? Not a microscope, a magnifying glass, and put it up to the headphones, and we could see Daryl Dion's cooties.
They were screaming
on the headphones.
They were screaming. They were lonely. They missed him.
Yes.
He had that horrible headset, and he'd have put new headsets in. Everything's great. Nope, there's that horrible headset. He wouldn't give it up.
Right.
Had the fuzzies coming out. He still wouldn't give it up.
That's right. Let's see.
I think they took it away from him during the great pandemic shutdown.
Ooh.
I think that's when he lost his favorite headset. When we came back from that, it was a different headset. Yeah, that's what it was.
You mean the holiday break?
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say because...
oh, yeah, no, that was the holiday break, not the pandemic break.
Very recent, yes.
Yes, it was. That's right.
Yes. Let's see. Let me give the numbers, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnarton.com.
Aw, Matt.
What?
I got Mike Doyle cooties. Mike Doyle was sitting here.
He was?
Yes, on the morning show.
Oh,
so
wow.
So it's Mike Doyle cooties.
Yes. Apparently he won't...
if you get Republican on you, does it catch?
He won't call us. He won't call us anymore. Apparently, because he, as we heard on the morning show, he doesn't feel that we're able to have an adult conversation.
He's unable to have a true debate with us. That's the problem.
Well, we don't just
take whatever he says and go, oh yes, fluffy sound.
We don't just just agree with him and say, oh, okay, you're right. No, I like Mike Doyle. I'm sorry that he feels that way. But,
well, maybe someday he'll come back and visit.
I still, post-pandemic, I would still love to have him in the studio and we can talk. Maybe this is him calling.
If he
Who
gets
knows?
vaccinated, we'll see.
Right.
I want
right.
to. I want to know that he did that too.
Yes. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hoorah!
Hoo-ah! It's Tony D.
That's right.
How are you, my friend?
I heard you partnered up with the same station that I'm on too.
Yeah, that what's up with that website though?
I just tried to go to it, and I still
Is
can't.
it still
go
not
to it.
working? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, let me go check out his new.
Well,
his new page.
we'll have to figure that out later. I'm not sure. And I see Charles Richardson in the Facebook live chat, by the way. Hello, sir. But I don't know. It's not working here. That particular site.
Yeah, it's not loading.
I don't know. It might just be a server issue. But anyway,
I tried to put you on there and you broke it.
Oh no! But how are you? How are you, Tony?
I've learned a lot about PTSD over the last 3 days. I had a flare up of PTSD over the last 3 days. That's why I'm not a firefighter no more. I had a significant brain injury in 2017, and it decided to show its ugly head Friday evening.
Oh.
So my weekend was complete and total utter crap. So
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's stinky.
What
yeah.
triggered that, Tony? What was, if you don't mind my asking, was there something that caused you to have that?
I just, I'm a weird one. I shouldn't say I'm a weird one. The guys that I'm in programs with that go through this, we all go through it. Just one day, sitting down, all of a sudden, you just start not being able to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Your sleep gets disturbed. I should have known that that's what was going on. That was Friday evening. By Saturday, I wasn't sleeping at all. And I was like, okay, something's up. And then my body just started getting like really bad headaches, tingling in the arms, muscles started to get tense, anxiousness started to flare up. So I immediately went to the hospital, which luckily the hospital that I go to, the psych team that I see, they actually are a part of the emergency department also for psych. So you don't get admitted to the hospital. They come down and see you, talk to you, and they coordinate with your actual doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily enough, I've never been on it, but I was put on a medication known as Connarton to go to sleep for like 2 days, and it broke the cycle. And here I am, just little dull headaches here and there, but it's going away. But break that cycle of that insomnia that started to kick up on me, and then once that starts getting to like a higher tier, I start to get the vivid dreams. I start getting the restless leg syndrome. I start getting the cold sweats at night, and then it just starts to it starts to spiral out of control. But I'm at a point now in my life that I know when it's starting.
Yeah.
So I know when. So like instead of going weeks upon weeks of like dealing with it and letting it manifest to its worst capabilities to the point that you do get hospitalized, I can notice little hints like, all right, the sleep's starting to get disturbed, starting to get a little agitated, heart rate starting to go up a little bit, starting to get a little panic attacks during the day. That's my telltale sign that it's time to go see someone.
Yeah. Now you were able to do your show Saturday though, right? You were live.
Tough. It was tough. If you listen back to that show, I really wasn't talking during the show.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I will say, I mean, to your credit, so I didn't get a chance to, the way my Saturdays are, I don't always get a chance to listen live, but I went back and I was watching it later online, and I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but yeah, you weren't as talkative on the show as normal. That's true, but I mean, I will say to your credit, I couldn't tell there was anything explicitly wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like
you wouldn't.
Like
when you see me pick up my phone and I'm scrolling through my phone.
Yeah.
That's a telltale sign that something's up because I'm not paying attention, and I'm Googling PTSD symptoms, and I'm trying. That's what I was actually doing. Like
no kidding.
I was doing the show, I was Googling PTSD symptoms. I'm like, where am I at right now on the PTSD scale? Because I have an app on my phone that allows me to know, like, I can like put my level where I'm at, and like it's sort of like a journal,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
sort of like my journal, and I document my mood by hour,
Really?
and like I I document my stuff goes back 36 days, so every day I document my mood, I document the hour, I document what I'm feeling, anxious, a little like, you know, if I'm headachy or if I'm feeling the fear of going to sleep and stuff like that because of the vivid dreams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was doing during the show. It was very embarrassing, but no one knows about it until now. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I'm glad that, you know, you feel comfortable enough to discuss it and with us and with our audience that we have here. And, you know, I think you know this already, but as I think everyone in the Facebook live chat would attest to, you know, everyone. I hear sirens.
They're coming to get you again.
Sounds like Philly, as Tony said once. But no, you can tell it. You can tell the snow's piling up out here, and there's accidents happening by the sirens. No, but you know, everybody in the chat room here in the Facebook live chat during our show is always very supportive of you. And
absolutely.
I just
listen, I'm a mess. 2017. I mean, I was destroyed from the fire industry.
Yeah,
doing what I love to do, which was trying to save people, help people.
Yeah,
and I just, you know, I got hurt really bad. I was in a walker and a cane for 6 months after that injury.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah. My wedding photos are, as everyone likes to say, my wedding photos are a dime a dozen because I'm in a walker.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
But I had a pretty bad TBI. You know, it's kind of like. I look at it like I'll tell you what, 2018 was the worst for me.
Yeah.
And Jenny, you know, people
Yeah.
in the industry get PTSD. The first year of finally recognizing that like you got something wrong with you, and then like you don't know how to cope with it. That was the scary part. The scary part was 2018 because it was completely out of control to the point that I was hospitalized for 3 months. They had to figure out what was going on. I got thrown into a program up in upstate New York called the Heroes Program, which is meant for like first responders from New York. There are a few from all over the country there. Best program I ever been at. Best program. The Heroes Program that is sponsored by UPenn. Anyone that is listening that has a mental illness, just know that it's okay to not be okay. And if you need significant help, UPenn, the Heroes Program, it's just not for heroes. It's for everyone, but it's by far the best therapy I have ever gotten to understand what your new life is going to be and how to cope with it. It was absolutely phenomenal. And that's why I can recognize what I have going on today.
Yeah.
It's really, I wanted to point out something that you said that I thought was really cool because it shows a lot of strength. You mentioned that they put you on a medication, and a lot of people fear any kind of medication is that they won't try it, and that makes things even worse for them. The fact that you're not only that you're taking one, but that you were willing to say to the world, hey, guess what? I'm taking a med now, and it's what I need or what they think I need right now is extremely commendable. I do not have PTSD. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a little different. Instead of a reaction to a singular trauma, it's what happens when there is months or years of abuse that occurs in children and actually alters the way their brain works, much like a TBI did to you. But there's an experimental treatment that I'm on for pain reasons, but given in low doses, ketamine infusions are actually now used in the treatment of treatment-resistant depression and PTSD, CPTSD. I know my own doctor specializes in that, and he does that out of his office as well, where I go to get my pain treatments. But it's amazing what technology's out there now.
Ketamine is a science that they've been using that I've learned about over the last couple. They've been wanting me to get ECT. I'm like refusing to get ECT right now because I'm not at that point where I'm
ECT.
See, I'm a big
What?
Jack
That's
Nicholson
a
fan.
shock.
Oh, that's
Electric compulsive therapy.
Oh, okay. The shock therapy, as
Yes.
it's often referred to. Okay,
Yeah,
yep,
but it's
yep.
not really shots. It's a magnetic thing that they do to your head. It's not, they just call it ECT, but it's actually a magnetic thing. But see, this is where my anxiety comes up. I'm a big fan of One Flies Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and like I'm just like no, No, not yet. We're not there yet. But the success rate from it is huge. So maybe sometime later down the line, I'll be willing to do that. But the reason I was calling you guys,
by the way, I'm going to play "Shock Me" by Kiss at the break.
Matt.
At the top of the hour.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh,
Go.
God. I can't take you anywhere.
Any excuse to play a Kiss song. You know that's my rule. I'm sorry, Tony.
This is not one of those moments.
Shock me, make
No.
me feel better.
Oh, learn to read the room, buddy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you did.
I brought this up on my show on Saturday, and we got really good. It was a really good talking point. Could you live without your phone today?
No.
Could I live without my phone?
Well, my easy answer is no, because when you're in media, you need your phone. I mean, I couldn't function without it.
There is no way
Couldn't do
that
it.
I
No,
could
you
coordinate
couldn't-
all the
you
care
couldn't
that
go
I'm
back to
under
the
without
days
my
of-
phone. No way.
You couldn't go back to the days of how media used to be with cutting film, cutting. I mean, they taught me that when I was in broadcasting school before I got into the actual digital part of things.
Yeah.
Like cutting actual reel
Oh God.
to making intro. You couldn't live without it.
Well, I mean, if we all had to do that, if like there was like what are you thinking, like an electromagnetic pulse from the sun knocks everything out and we have to go back to, I mean, if we all had to do it, I guess.
That would be different because then everybody would be on the same playing field.
Right. But I wouldn't want to just be the only one having to do that. I'd be bitter. I'd be like, damn it, why do I have to cut film? Nobody else does.
No, yeah. Everybody else is getting their news yesterday.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you
I could
want
do it
to?
because you know what? I don't bank online. I don't
Really?
put any of my cards online. I still write a check. I still drop checks off to like my Comcast and my PS. Well, my
You
my
caveman,
public
your
service.
wife must not like you.
You're like
Go online shopping?
you're like
God.
more than a decade younger than we are, and yet you sound like an old man.
Caveman.
Yeah, I'm just old school. I still drop mail off at the post office and
Wow.
Like why?
Send out birthday cards and stuff like that. And yeah, I still put the $20 bill in the card and mail it out.
Wow.
I just-
You're an old soul.
I'm just, you know what it
Guess
is?
so.
My grandfather is still with us, and my grandfather is a huge radio person. Right? Ready
Yeah.
for this? As long as I can remember, I sent you over something the other day, Johnny Dollar.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
have you ever heard of Johnny Dollar? When I was a little kid and I was growing up, and I went to my grandfather's house, he had a TV, but he never watched TV. He had a big old school radio that's still in the family. And my grandfather would listen to the radio more than anything. So when I used to go to my grandparents' house, my grandfather used to show me Johnny Dollar, Vic Bryson, all these old detective shows that were on the radio. So for years and years and years, I would listen to talk or actual shows that you would see on TV
Yeah.
via radio. Until this day, even with my phone on Spotify, I still listen to Johnny Dollar,
Yeah.
Dick Carson, and all those guys. And I listen to the old shows of detectives and stuff like that.
Oh, I get it.
I could easily. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just going to say I get it why you like that stuff because so here at WMNH on Sundays, and you can, if you go to WMNHradio.org, you can stream it anywhere. All day on Sunday, it's from noon until midnight. It's all old time radio shows, and like there's CBS Radio Mystery Theater or CBS Radio Mystery Theater, and there's a show called X-1, which is all these old Ray Bradbury things, and yeah. In fact, I remember once Peter White, he'll sit in on my show once in a while, and some people know that Peter is not only the morning show host, but he's the program director here. And I remember complaining to him on the air. I was like, Peter, I tuned in Sunday to hear my CBS Radio Mystery Theater, and it was this Dr. Kildare. I was like, what happened to my... So then the next week he put it back in the CBS Radio Mystery Theater. But yeah, I love the old radio shows. I get it. I totally get why you dig that stuff.
I could totally live off the grid with stuff just like that. And my grandfather, till this day, still has his little radio. He's got glaucoma and stuff now, and he's in a rehabilitation center and all that. But when I go to visit him, he'll sit there and he has his radio on his chest.
Yeah.
And he has cassettes. He has cassettes of old radio time shows.
Yeah.
And he puts them in, and he still listens to them. I think that's where my radio background actually came from, is because for years when I was a kid, I just enjoyed the radio. It's so much simpler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. No, I get it. It was a simpler time. But were it not for all this technology, I don't know if I would have a career in broadcasting, so
I think you would. I think you would. You just be telling unsheathed stories on some type of radio station.
Hey, don't give them any ideas.
I don't think I'd be allowed.
No.
I don't think I'd be allowed.
No, you would not. I say the nay.
See, that's the nice thing about all this technology. the bar of entry has gotten so low. Even I can do a radio show.
Stop it. Come on, now you're beating on yourself.
I know. Well,
yeah, I know.
Geez.
I said the other day, someone asked me, they said, could you ever work on FM? I said, absolutely not. I said, I could not do it.
But didn't you?
I said, because.
Didn't you before,
we
though?
have a very entertaining, what'd you say?
Didn't you before, though? Weren't you on FM at one time?
I did. That's why I'm not in it no more, just because of the fact that the suits were trying to censor what I was trying to do, and I wasn't trying to be a Howard Stern. I wasn't trying to be a Kid Chris. I was trying to be Tony D.
Right.
The suits wanted to put my show, what I was doing, on a reggae station, and I was like, that doesn't work. You're setting me up for failure. You're like, what reggae station wants to hear some guy talk about the dude down the street that poops in a Walmart? Nobody.
You just
Nobody
working some.
Yeah, that's a great story there.
You tell the story, and you just every once in a while you throw in
potty humor.
You throw in a yaman. And
Come
then this
on, don't even.
I could
talk
front
about
sell what we
terrible cultural appropriations.
Yeah, I could front sell what we had coming up. All right, guys, here's Ziggy Marley with Bum Bum Ba Ba. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the guy that pooped at the Walmart right here on Jamaica Rock Radio or whatever.
Yeah, you could have made it work.
No, no, he couldn't. Be honest.
I'd be sitting there.
No.
I would have to get dreads and all types of things, and I would have to play the bombarines.
Yeah.
Don't do that to your hair. It will not look right on you. It's a good look for some people,
Tony
not
G's,
you.
man.
No, man, no.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I understand the struggle.
Struggle is real.
I've had a suspension or two since I've been here, so I get it.
Yeah, read
but
between the lines
man,
there on that
I'm really
one.
happy with my numbers
Brat.
on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. Like every show, we average, it goes up to 30.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes to 15. Sometimes it's 40. But you know what? Everyone enjoys what we do, and they like what we're saying. And you know what? It's cool. I mean, it's very F this and F that, but that's just the way we are. Who we are as a show, and I wish we could change that, but it's just the area that we're from.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's fun. That's as long as you're having fun with it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm just hoping one day we have the Easy G Muscle Off show on WMNH. I've been waiting a long time for that.
Yeah.
And it's muscle T-shirt convo and.
Easy G, look, he is an abuser of anabolic steroids, and sometimes I worry that we enable him a little too much. I'm worried that we've built up a certain expectation for Easy G's physique that he feels pressure to maintain, and therefore makes unhealthy choices because we expect him to be really buff and bulky.
Yeah, well, you know what? everyone's like, "Oh, we need that Amanda McCarthy update." Yeah,
We
I
do.
like Amanda
Listen
McCarthy.
to you two.
I dig it.
Is there some
But what
green
we
monster
really
going on
need
here with you
once a
two?
week? Huh?
I think you two might have a touch of the green monster.
Well, you think we're jealous of EZG's
I think you're a little jelly of the Easy.
his celebrity status?
And
Well,
his fan, he
he
does have a
did make
fan
Amanda
club.
McCarthy
You guys
famous.
don't have fan clubs. I'm just saying.
he's jealous
Hey,
of
hey.
Christian Lacoste. Did you?
Listen,
Yes, he is. He's jealous of my
listen.
Christian.
If I had a fan club, life would be so much cooler. But
Actually, you
Not
do.
necessarily.
Don't you have a
What
don't you have a fan club, the Swingin' D's?
Oh, really?
well, yeah.
Something's
There's not a
swinging.
lot of there's not a lot of swinging D's. There's maybe like 6.
It's on his website. It's legit.
I don't want to know
Yeah,
what's
I mean-
swinging.
6 of them.
Well, that's
That's a bit much, don't you?
it starts with 6.
I mean, I
and,
know swingers like to trade and everything, but why so many?
It starts with 6, and then you just keep at it, and next thing you know, you've got 7.
See, now you're... But then that's an odd number. How does that work? Is somebody's getting left out, aren't they?
No, nobody gets left out.
You just got to subscribe.
Yeah.
You know how these Philadelphia swingers are.
Yeah, let me tell you. I was actually, I'll leave you with this. I was actually thinking about putting up this like obnoxious billboard in Philadelphia
Yeah?
for my show.
You should.
Dude.
Oh, I dare
Dude,
you. I so dare
I
you.
was thinking about it. It was going to be me in a flamingo costume, drinking a margarita with the logo and everything, and it was going to be like on 95 for the show.
Yeah.
And like it was going to be extremely obnoxious.
Do it.
Probably
do
pretty
it.
expensive, though, I would imagine.
It's about $1,500.
$1,200 for the month.
See, I said 15. It was 12.
Wait, what?
$1,200 for a
Yeah,
month.
$1,200 for the month.
For a billboard on the interstate?
For a month.
That's actually a lot cheaper than I would have guessed.
It's indicative of the change in our in life. God, I'm stuck here, Maddie. I just did a brain.
And I would purposely drive by it.
The electronic
every day.
signs are all the rage, so the paper signs are cheaper.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it to be that cheap. Wow.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. Still thinking about it.
Well, hey, you know what? If we get that third stimulus, there you go.
They're supposed to be voting on that by the end of this week.
To promote the swinging D's? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I don't know about that now. I mean, you might have gotten Trump involved in that kind of living, but I don't think Biden's going to bite on that
Hey, if
one.
Biden pays me, he's promoting. Hey,
Well, yeah.
promoting.
Something tells me he doesn't promote swingers. Go for you. Trump might. That'd be
We're not
right up his
swingers.
category,
We're not
grab
swingers.
things.
We're not
Grab the
swingers.
D's.
Anyway.
Grab the dangling
But-
D's.
Anywho, well, we'll see. We'll see if EZG comes in because I want to see if he can do a food review on all these paninis that he eats during the week that he posts pictures of. We need a food
He
review.
is a restaurateur. Yes, he is. He is a.
Macaroni
very in
salad,
tune.
paninis, muffins, bagels.
Oh yeah,
egg
he gets it all,
sandwiches.
doesn't he?
That would be more.
Yeah.
That would be more a Texas Mike thing, I think.
No, they both do it.
Yeah, but Texas Mike does it a lot.
Texas Mike does it 2 and 3 times in a day.
Easy G will get
Well,
something at Market Basket and post it, but
Something
Texas
quick.
Mike goes to real
Something
places.
quick.
Texas Mike has Takeout Tuesday. He posts. So,
And Takeout Thursday.
and Takeout Thursday.
Yeah, he does that too. Or is it Thursday?
I lose track.
Maybe
I
we'll
don't know.
see.
He's a hard
All
one
right,
to keep
guys. Let me
track
let you
of.
get to your show and let me stop taking away from your time. So,
No, we love to hear from you, Tony. Thank you so much for the call, my friend.
all right, man. Be good.
All right, you too, man. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, Tony D from the Tony D Show. Very nice. Yes, I would not have known watching the video of his show from Saturday that there was anything wrong.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah,
but he's a professional, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that he's willing to talk about things like that because the more we talk about that, the better all of us are living, the better lives everybody can have.
Yeah.
By not keeping, because I mean, it's not that long ago. Our parents' generation, you didn't talk about that openly,
Right.
at all. You didn't talk about anybody in the family that had that. One generation behind that, you couldn't even say if somebody was pregnant. So I mean, it's a really big jump.
Well, I mean, it's probably only been, maybe 10 years now that I've felt at all comfortable, openly talking about, my depression or anxiety. I mean, there was a time that I tried to keep that very well hidden, and I was pretty good at hiding it too, for the most part.
People aren't very receptive, and now I think people are far more receptive to each other.
Yeah, no, we've really evolved that way in that regard.
Actually, giving a care about how somebody else feels or thinks.
Yeah,
you don't hear people making fun of others anymore so much as you used to about changing their name, for example.
Right.
If somebody wanted to change their or identify themselves more to their own insides, if you will.
Right.
You
yeah.
know,
Like if somebody wanted to bury their previous identity, just throw it right into the Charles River.
Yeah, or like tear it up and break it into glass and throw it away and pretend it never happened and look back on it like a horrid nightmare that you wake up terrified and screaming in the middle of the night from.
Oh my. Well, we are taking your calls, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me.
What was that?
What?
You going through puberty again over there, buddy?
Why?
I don't know. You said that phone number. You got a little high on the note there in the end.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
You can also text
Leave
us.
the helium alone.
617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. By the way, John Hopwood did text me on the text line and said, does Christian work Wednesday afternoons? I'm going to be on for 6 weeks, starting at the end of March. I wonder where he's going for 6 weeks. Perhaps some team building exercises.
Somewhere warm.
I don't know.
Maybe he's going to work on his secret identity.
Maybe he's going
he's
to
a spy.
Going to Texas to help out with things there.
That one's a
I don't know.
spy.
Maybe.
That's why he hangs around with Russians.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
We'll say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Christian Lacoste joins us. Hello, Christian.
Hello, darling.
Alfredo Enrique Benavides, I always enjoy saying his name, says hi-yo. Hello. Rob Dion in the Facebook live chat. Rob, of course, host of Through the Stage Door, which you can hear on WMNH. And also he's the entertainment reporter on the morning show Thursday mornings.
But
and
he doesn't give out
too.
Amanda McCarthy dates.
No, that's true. I mean, he probably should.
Yeah.
In case Scott Robinson is listening.
See? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and Scott Robinson is in the Facebook live chat and says good afternoon. Charles Richardson from Raw Talk Online is in the Facebook live chat. Hello. And he also shared a link. So apparently there's an updated temporary link to Raw Talk Online. So we are very excited about that association. And we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Christian. I have a proposal.
Oh, no.
Well,
shouldn't you discuss this with me offline first?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God.
I have a proposal.
What is it now, child?
Listen.
He referred to you as a adoptive mother, so that's weird. We're not in the South. How dare you?
I'm confused.
I'm old
like
enough.
I missed half of that conversation.
He's younger than my own son.
Right.
Tony wants to hear.
Yes.
Hold on.
Sorry?
Tony wants to hear Eric do a food review.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I'll take over the entertainment report. You get what I'm saying?
No.
How do you feel about stalking Amanda McCarthy, if you're going to do that?
Okay, yeah, I'm good on that.
And you remember, you got to make sure you're traveling, too, because you got to go back and forth between here and Nashville to keep up with her.
Right. Are you why do you want to be the entertainment reporter? Are you jealous of EZG being our entertainment reporter and now
No.
Because he's jealous of you. He's very envious of you, sir.
And he thinks there's fibbing going on, too.
So I've seen.
Yeah, they were
That's all right. Listen, we should get bunk beds. Right?
No.
With Eric and me
No.
in the same room.
No.
Oh, we
Young
can
man, I will ground you. No.
You don't want to
Ground me. Good luck with that.
You don't want
to stay in the house for more than 10 minutes.
We don't want to take an EZG?
No.
No.
My house is
I
full
guess
right
not.
now. I love you, Easy. But my house is full right
Our
now.
house is full.
I tried, Eric. I'm sorry.
Well, it's a good effort. I'm sure he appreciates it.
No
It was
bug beds.
half-hearted.
Brian Mackey says, and you need a tablet to be the entertainment reporter.
We do have Wi-Fi.
Oh, you need a tablet?
Yeah, you don't have to
Do
actually
you sell it, though? Do you bring it back to the store and return it?
No,
No.
you can either have it but not actually use it ever, or another option is to threaten to donate it to a charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the Young
Oh,
Republicans, for example,
okay.
is a charity. Yes, the Young Republicans.
I wouldn't have thought they believed in charity.
All right,
Man.
troublemaker.
So you shot down my proposal.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Well, all
I'm
right.
going back to work.
All right, Christian. Well, be careful at work.
No, I mean, okay.
Okay.
Stop.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
I've created a monster.
All right, Christian Lacoste leaves us. That opens up a line for you, 603-250-6007. Miriam Banish is a top fan in the Facebook live chat. She says, hi, all. Abigail Jem also joins us. Melanie Fedderson says, you're beautiful, Jenny.
Oh.
Yes, she is. And I think that's a...
I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. That's
so sweet.
That's going to be really uncomfortable if you cry. I mean, just Easy G crying on the show was uncomfortable, and I wasn't even in the room for that. So don't cry.
I'm gonna melt. That was so sweet.
Don't you cry tonight.
No, don't do that.
Brian Mackey
You're
is in
gonna ruin my moment.
Brian Mackey from Idaho in the chat room. Abigail Jem says your hair looks nice today, Jenny.
Thank you.
Oh, Abigail likes your hair. Eric Street, who is a top fan, says, yes, actually, Daryl was sitting near the window this morning. Mike Doyle was sitting there. Let's see.
Miriam asked an important question I wanted to make sure I answered.
Yeah.
And because I think it was pertaining to what I was talking about with ketamine infusions and how that that treatment does exist here in New Hampshire. Yes, my doctor does work with veterans.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. So
Do you want to plug them?
well, yeah, I don't mind saying
Group?
it.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying it. My doctor is Dr. No at Pain Specialty Group, which is in Newington, New Hampshire, painspecialtygroup.com. I love these people to death. They have literally changed my life, saved my life in many ways. On paper, black and white, I could show you guys. I have all these doctors. I'm not supposed to be able to walk. Literally, I am not supposed to be able to walk. According to my biopsy report, I should be bedbound and on a lot of medications, and I'm not. And it's a testament. Dr. No does ketamine infusions with me, which is an experimental treatment for CRPS and small fiber neuropathy, diseases that I unfortunately have. And it has literally changed my life. I do not take opioids. I do not take narcotics. I have cannabis for breakthrough pain. He also certifies me for that. So, we're minimalists in my care, and I like to keep it low number of medications. But this treatment has changed my life. And the thing about Dr. No is that, and Maddie, you'll remember this, when I used to get the blocks and stuff all the time that they used to do on me, and you could hear me screaming in the waiting room, like not intentionally. It really hurt. I mean, they're taking like a 10-inch needle and shoving it in my abdomen. I would cry out uncontrollably. I mean, there's nothing, and they'd tell me, oh, you got to feel the pain. We got to know we're in the right spot, blah, blah, blah. I now know that that's complete and total bull. It's malarkey, because Dr. No can do an ablation on me and I don't suffer. You don't hear me screaming. He gives me medication, so I don't have to have that experience. And he gives me medication when I use the ketamine infusions, so I don't have to have the experience of going through the infusion itself.
Right.
I sleep through it. I absolutely sleep through it, and my dignity is preserved, and I'm in a private suite, and it's everything that you would want in treatment.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people. And you can look it up online. Facebook even has a support group for ketamine infusions of people who have gone for mental health reasons, for untreatable treatment-resistant depression is a biggie, PTSD, CPTSD. And yes, it has in fact helped me by having these infusions, but you can have them in a lower dose for mental health reasons, and that does happen here in New Hampshire. And it's amazing. It's literally changed people's lives. It takes away some of that angst, that anxiety that will come up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I encourage anybody, please, there are always options out there. I love how Tony talks about being able to take a medication, because sometimes that's all it takes is the right balance of medications. I have the right balance of medications that enables me to be able to walk in and out of this building with Matt, and I'm not supposed to be able to do that. So things like this can happen, does happen, and I encourage you, please, if you are in need, please go ahead and reach out and get some help.
And we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Ridley?
Dave Ridley of the Ridley Report. Did you call to argue with Jenny today?
Well, I guess that's what it always wound up. Do you know much about World War I and General Falkenhayn?
General Falkenhayn. That's a fun
What did that have to do
name.
with ketamine infusions?
Well, you asked about arguments. So Falkenhayn used to say, if every battle's going to turn into a meat grinder, we might as well just plan on it being a meat grinder.
Ah. Okay.
So I guess if it's going to become an argument with Jen, I might as well just plan on it becoming an argument with Jen.
Jenny.
She goes by
My
Jen.
name's
Well,
Jenny.
you introduced yourself to me as Jen, so you're stuck with it.
Well, dude, if
Uh-oh.
you can't respect me and call me by my name correctly, you're not going to get my time, attention, or my ear.
Uh-oh.
Understood?
I can't keep track of 4 different names for every person. Sorry.
Excuse me? You're
No,
an absolute
when
jerk.
you introduce,
You
when you
are an
introduce yourself to me, you introduce
absolute jerk.
yourself to me as Jen. You get one
Whatever,
chance to tell me
dude.
what your name is.
Dude, you're just proving to the world what a complete and utter jackass you are.
All right. I did call with some New Hampshire news if anyone wants it.
Well, I'll listen, but Jenny's upset.
All right.
He's an ass.
she gets to be
So when
upset.
you're introduced to somebody, do you go, yeah, but you look like a Daryl, so I'll call you that? or you know.
You said you had a chance to tell me what your name was, and you said it was Jen. And by the way, I like
Unfortunately,
Jen
in
better
the
than I
days,
like Jenny.
well, I bet you do, because she was all into those cults that you like to hang around with.
Well, she was all into not starting fights.
No, she was all into following cults and being submissive to her ex-husband. And she's dead to this world. Good riddance.
Okay.
Good riddance. Try being
Anyway.
respectful and you won't get an argument out of me.
Okay. Well, anyway, something has happened in New Hampshire that is interesting. There is an organization called New Hampshire Red Carpet. And so I guess it's sort of a imitation is this in serious form of flattery type thing that is happening. They're imitating the Free State Project.
Oh, that other cult. So you're calling in and interrupting a conversation on mental health care and pain treatments and people not committing suicide over those types of things to conflate our conversation with what? A bunch of bogus bull? A bunch of people sitting around a table all night with these stupid ideas in their head that really won't make the world any better, but it'll certainly make it worse?
If you don't want me to change the subject today, I can call in later.
You know what? It would be nice if you actually listened to the show once in a while and called in on the topic we're talking about. But is that too much to ask of you? Probably, since you can't respect somebody enough to respect them for what they'd like to be called. I wouldn't expect you to actually be respectful to anybody's show.
The organization is called NHRedCarpet.com.
Okay.
That's lovely.
Alrighty.
Now, I have asked before. Now, you can change this rule. It's your show. But I've asked Matt before, is it okay to change the subject? And he said that it's okay. If it's no longer okay, then
If
I'll
he said it's
try
okay
to abide
to change
by
the
that.
subject, does that mean it's also okay to not listen, to have a clue as to what we're talking about anytime you call in? No matter what?
Well,
I mean,
listen
we
to
could
me.
be sitting here having a discussion with somebody over their child that died, and you could care less as long as
So-
you can talk about New Hampshire leaving the United States and other idiocies of
So
Soviet citizen
again,
bull.
I've asked permission to change the
permission.
subject. If that's not okay, then just say so.
Well, I mean,
if it's not okay to ask you to be respectful, gee, what does it say about you? Why does anybody want to listen to you if you can't even have a little ounce of respect?
Maybe it says that I don't have a lot of respect.
Maybe that is true. I could see that. Saw a lot of lack of respect amongst those types of organizations, so I'm not surprised.
well, okay.
Well, I think you were right at one thing, that there are people within each movement, including this one, that are annoying and that behave badly.
White
But I'd like to think I'm orbiting around
alien,
an idea, the idea
flat
that
earth.
you don't commit acts of aggression, you don't start fights, you don't tax people, you don't steal from them.
Now, well, let me just say now,
And you don't hijack.
Now, in fairness to Dave, we've always kept it pretty loose here, and people can call in and pose whatever subjects they want. But Dave, I would say, in fairness to Jenny, I don't think she's asking a lot she'd prefer to be called Jenny. I don't think she's asking a lot. So maybe we can come to
There are people in this
detente?
world that want me to be who I was. Unfortunately, they pop their heads up every once in a while, and they need to be smacked down. Because that wasn't a very good person.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I think you are more violent than you used to be.
I'm violent?
Well, you
my
just
God,
used the word
yes.
smackdown. A person who wants to initiate force, which is what you are now, is worse than a person who doesn't.
You mean, is that worse than a person who hijacks whatever they want, whenever they want it, to use it for their own purpose, though it belongs to somebody else, and disregard any type of respect that they might, even the smallest monocle of maybe even listening for a moment to know what the heck is going on, and participate in rather than disrupt, disturb, disrespect?
It's a lot of D words.
Yes.
Yeah, again, it's your call. Like I said, it's your show. If you ask me
it's
to
not my
not
show.
change the
It's not my
subject,
show.
I will abide by
Not
that.
my show. You literally have. You know what's sad here? It's going right over your head. Is how you can't even see how disrespectful you are. People in the chat room are writing about it, but you can't actually see it.
I think I'll just let's we'll cool the temperature a little bit. I think Dave is always called with whatever's on his mind, and we've always abided that. But Dave, I don't think Jenny's asking a lot. She just wants to be. She would like to be called Jenny instead of Jen. That's all. Is that hard to do?
Yeah, it is actually for me.
What? But why?
Kiss
for two reasons.
Can I say
it?
it?
For two reasons. First of all, because I think there was great value in the person who introduced herself to me as Jen. And second, because I don't think people should have to keep track of multiple ever-changing names of other people.
I have one name,
you get one
dude.
chance to
One
you get
name.
one chance to tell people what you get one chance to tell people what your name is.
So if somebody suddenly comes up to you that you've known for, say, a decade, and they come up to you and they say, "Hey, I'm transgendered. This is my name now." You're going to say, "No, you didn't introduce yourself that way, so I'm not going to say that to you." You're not allowed to identify or be the person that you choose to be, because I want to make you into who I want to make you into being. Spoken like a true cultist. And somebody who's very...
I guess to be consistent, I should do that, and it is more difficult when someone's made a change like that, but
I simply asked you to call all you. I simply asked you this. I simply asked you to call me by my appropriate name. In fact, it was the name that I was named after is actually Jenny, my great grandmother. And I have other reasons as to why my name was changed that have absolutely no business to you. You should have enough respect to at least call me by my name. And if you can't do that, you will continue to get an argument out of me. You will continue to not receive any respect from me because you can't show me an ounce of it.
It is.
Well, I think I'm gonna get that anyway.
Well, Dave, though, it is a valid question Jenny raises. I mean, if you knew someone who was transgender and wanted to be called by, maybe used to have a male name and now wants to be...
And let's just add in for this sake of argument, I haven't actually declared a gender, so how does he even know?
Well, yeah.
How does he even know any of it about me?
I can attest that you're female, but let's... let's not muddy the water too much. No, but I genuinely am curious, Dave. I mean, you really wouldn't. Would you really say to a transgender person, "Well, you only get one chance with me to tell me your name, and I refuse to call you Beatrice instead of Bobby or whatever"? I don't know.
Well, I probably should. To be consistent, I probably should.
That surprises me about you, though. That genuinely surprises me about
you.
you.
You're surprised to find that he actually does truly lack respect for other human beings? Yeah. That's why he's so great at shoving a camera in somebody's face, because he could care less.
Well, I like that he does that, though. I like the ambush journalism. I thought you did, too, actually.
I liked it up until the point that I saw that it cost him his humanity, so it's not worth it to me. Oh. If it's going to cost you being a decent human being, it's not worth it, in my book.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I am going to say so, and I'm and everybody listening. is commenting the same too there, Dave. Maybe you can listen to this later on when your mind might be a little bit more open and you'll understand why you angered me so quickly and why your disrespect and continued disrespect is just mind-boggling. You are so full of yourself and your ideas that you can't have respect for anybody else in the room.
I haven't called you any names, Jen, except for the name you gave me. Now, how many names have you called me in this one conversation?
I wish you were in this room. I would punch you right in the kisser.
Oh,
well, again, there you go. There you go. I told you were more violent than you used to be.
Only it seems with you because you're absolutely unconscionable, rude, and you're despicable. You are everything you claim to not be. Because you literally call into a show about ideas, step on everybody else's ideas, shove yours down their throat and what you want to call them and who you want them to be. You're not
If you don't want
receptive.
to talk about my ideas, then why have you been talking to me for the last 15 minutes?
Actually, it's made for some interesting radio, and it's been nice to see a conversation amongst people listening to say that, geez, they wouldn't like that. Wow, that's really a jerk. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you respect somebody and call them, just people are just kind of blown away by your libertarian-esque refusal to allow people to identify as to who they are, what they are, how they see themselves, and how they want to be presented and how they want to be referred to. I find it a bit surprising, to be honest with you, because I thought your group was more open to people from different walks of life. But, you did attract an awful lot of white supremacists. I know the crying Nazi lasted on there real good. So I guess I shouldn't say I'm surprised.
Name another one.
Shouldn't
name
be
another
surprised,
one. And by the way, he was kicked out.
No, not until after he made such a national spectacle. You had no choice but to kick him out. When he was in the state doing this, when he was talking about this white supremacist strap up at a campground, nobody shut him up.
Wait, we have to say, though, in fairness to Dave, you're talking about Chris Cantwell. In fairness to Dave Ridley, he has never endorsed
Excuse me.
Chris
He's
Cantwell.
Supportive of that behavior when he supports it coming out. When he's supporting Free Talk Live, who's having him on to talk about it. When he was supporting him back then, yes, he did, in fact, be a part of that problem.
I don't know. I really don't feel like I'm the rude one in this conversation.
I don't care what you think.
You're saying that I support free speech, and so what?
You don't support free speech in my book because you seem to be able to feel that you should be able to tell everybody else what it should be. Bottom line here, Dave.
I'm not asking you to make any statements, Jen.
Bottom line here, Dave, if you want us to be interested in your subjects, why don't you even be remotely interested in ours? Why don't you ever listen to us for a moment? Why don't you offer an opinion on what we're discussing? Why don't you give us a tidbit on what we're doing with our day instead of throwing a cog into the wheel, shutting the whole system down, and then arguing because you should be able to say whatever you want to say?
I'm not interested in doing that. So if you want me to talk about your subject, then I'm happy to do that. And I'm willing to listen to the show more. But I'm not.
That would be an ounce of respect if you actually listened first.
Sorry.
If you actually knew what we were talking about. No, I'm done with this stupid.
Why?
Oh, no. I called in today without listening because it's less work.
What else is new? This is what you do every time you call in.
If
you think people don't recognize the fact that
I'm earning my pay, I'm earning my pay here.
You are?
But yeah, if you want me to listen to the show, that's what I do with Hank's show. Like I call into a show in Massachusetts, and they want you to be on topic. So I listen to the show, and if you want me to be on topic, then I'll listen to your show.
Well, okay. Now I do have to say again, in fairness to Dave, and there have been times that Dave has called with something off topic, and maybe it wasn't an appropriate time to shift gears because we had a guest we were interviewing or something. And Dave has always been super respectful. We were
listening to somebody talk about somebody that died, and he calls in with some stupid obscure bill in New Hampshire.
No, but anytime I've said to Dave, we can't get into that right now because we're in the middle of something. He's always been like, "Oh, okay, I'll call back another day." So I do want to.
Oh, I know that.
I do want to point that out. Let's just
remind ourselves where we got this argument from. We got the argument started because he simply has a serious need to disrespect me and to belittle me and to not recognize me as the human being that I am, but want to recognize me as the person he wishes me to be, like a typical old school white guy would. I guess that's what started this whole mess. And then he's going to go into talking about yet another group who probably wants to secede from the Union again and wants New Hampshire to be its own little island. While we're talking about people getting ketamine infusions for PTSD and veterans and complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and how people are getting this treatment to try and save their lives. And here he is. What'd you get to add to the conversation?
That's actually, speaking of old white men, this is a conservative group that's trying to recruit conservatives to move to New Hampshire, or nhredcarpet.com.
Oh,
isn't that lovely?
I think we've got plenty of conservatives already. Dave, now,
we have enough idiots. Let
me just ask you this, because again, you actually did surprise me with your answer on something. But somebody brought this up in the chat room, Melanie Fedderson, and I was kind of wondering this too. So, if you know someone who gets married, and they, the woman, the wife trades in her maiden name for her husband's last name. A tradition that is less followed than it used to be, but still pretty common. I mean, would you insist on referring to that individual by her maiden name and just reject ever calling her by her new last name?
It would probably happen by accident more than anything else. I just wouldn't be able to keep track. I can only keep track of a couple of names per person.
So,
you are such a wise ass. That is such a rude comment. You can't quit for a minute.
No, it's more an admission that I have a bad memory.
Bottom line, if you're sitting there having a conversation for future reference, if you're having a conversation with someone and they interrupt you and go, "No, sorry, my name's Jenny," try actually using it instead of being a jerk, and you won't get into a 15-minute argument. Just try.
No,
try
we have
being
15,
a decent,
we have 15-minute arguments anyway.
Well, someday you might actually call in with something that makes sense and might actually help the world. It could happen. I've got hope.
Oh boy.
Well, I have provided the information I called in to provide, and intend to do so again until ordered not to by the host.
All right.
Ordered not to.
All right. Well,
follow your orders.
I would never ask you not to call, Dave.
We follow those orders.
We appreciate your calls, although in this case,
you want him to actually listen to your show.
In this case, by we, I suppose I mean me. That's okay.
Well, he seems to know what your name is.
If you ask me to listen to the show more, I will do so. Either of you may ask.
It would actually be nice if you did actually, because you know what, Dave? You used to actually be able to have conversations. But when you call in the middle of a conversation about a really serious topic with this stuff, with this political garbage that's not about to save somebody's life, but what we were talking about could, you're damn right you're going to get a fight from me. And if you can't respect me enough by calling me by my correct name, don't freaking call me.
Another thing you can do is just ask me to talk about the topic when I call in if you want to. I wouldn't have objected if you'd asked me to give an opinion on your existing topic.
On the topic, all
but
of a sudden,
you have not
not
asked me to do that.
I would have to educate you, and that's not going to happen in 5 seconds on the phone. We were talking about a very serious and situation in medicine.
Well, but apparently you think this is more important because you've been talking about it for almost 20 minutes now.
No, we're just showing people how much of a jerk you are and your organizations that you call in to talk about, because you can be so disrespectful and so rude.
I don't know. I haven't said anything mean to you the entire conversation, Jen.
If you think refusing to call me by my name isn't, then you really got a lot of growing up to do, buddy.
Dave,
I don't know. You told me you were Jen Coffee.
Dave,
I miss Jen Coffee.
Let me just say,
you have no idea how much I want to throw a bottle across the room right now.
I miss Jen Coffee, and I don't want to punch her or anyone else calling herself by new names. But apparently, you want to punch me.
She stormed out. She's legitimately upset. Well, Dave, I would just think, though, that after this discussion today, you probably, I mean, you should be able, after all of this, to remember her name. I mean, so you can't really fall back on that at this point. So, I mean, I don't think it's a lot to ask. Just because she wants to be called Jenny. What's the big deal?
I guess I want to be fair to all the other people who can't remember their names.
He's proven to himself.
But that's
proven to us
yeah,
the
like I
world of how
said,
much of a jerk he really is.
I called to talk in about the fact that there is a group trying to recruit conservatives to move to New Hampshire. And I think that the Move Here concepts, the Move
Keep
Here
changing
movement,
the subject there, buddy.
are
Off the fact that you are a rude jerk. You are.
right.
You're a lot of things,
Well.
but I can't say them on air.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, all right. We're at the top of the hour anyway. We got to take a break. So thank you for the call, Dave. And I'll give the Ridley Report a plug before you go.
Thank you.
RidleyReport.com. I guess that's where you go to troll me.
You go to find an idiot, but I suggest you don't. Just don't.
Oh, my
It's not even
goodness.
worth it.
All right, Dave.
All right.
All right. Be safe. Take care.
Play at that game.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Dave Ridley leaves us.
What
And
a jerk.
wow.
I am so upset at that. What a jerk! No, it really is. It really is. And you know what? You want to call me names or whatever? Go right ahead. But it really bothers me. It really hurts. It really, really bothers me to hear people call me that.
Well-
I've spent years in therapy regarding that stuff.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And I've worked really hard
Yeah.
to get to where I am and to be the person that I am today. And when you insist on going there over and over again, so disrespectful and so like a guy who has to tell me how to be, can't accept me for who I am, has to tell me how to be and what version of me he liked better. What a typical male behavior.
Well, I don't know if gender has much
I'm
to do
sorry,
with it,
but that's where part of this comes from, is from the way that my life used to be when I was married
Yeah,
to a man that I was subservient to
Well,
cults that I was involved in.
for you, yeah.
In my book, in what happened in my life.
I'm just saying, I think, right.
When I got breast
for
cancer,
you.
my ex-husband wanted me to just die. In fact, he would tell me so nightly.
Yeah. No,
So-
I'm just saying this, women are can do that too,
But
where they
it's been men in my
don't-
life who have insisted
in
on
your
telling me
life,
who
right.
I am,
Right.
how I'm referred to, what my name is.
I will say
Even
this.
what my name is was dictated by other people, which
Yeah.
is why I don't use it.
Yeah. Well, I will say in the beginning,
I'm upset. I'm sorry.
like
I'm
I don't
really upset.
I don't think he initially he doesn't mean to,
I didn't take it that way initially. I just politely went, no, Jenny.
right.
Because he said Jen. I'm like, Jenny.
But then
That's all I said. Then he's going to go off on this whole, well, you introduced me as Jen. Blah, blah.
yeah, but then at a certain point, he can't use his poor memory as an excuse, because when he's still in the conversation with you, obviously he gets it at this point.
When I'm telling you it bothers me,
Yeah.
when I'm literally telling you, don't do that, please. It really bothers me. I don't like it.
He genuinely surprised me. Actually.
I'm not, because you're actually getting to see a part of him that you've never seen, Matt. You don't see
Well,
the underbelly of these groups and what goes on behind closed doors.
Well, I've
who
seen,
they are in person.
No, I have seen some of it, but I'm thinking of a particular individual.
If you bring anybody else into this, I'm going to whack you.
Oh, I'm not going to mention the name, but
Oh, God, no, please.
But
I'm not sure where you're going either.
really, think of a Hobbit-like individual. But you get it now?
Yeah, I do.
But
Forgot about that.
no, he actually surprised me though when we brought up a transgender individual as an example. That he wouldn't. It's like he wasn't open to
He wasn't
calling
going to
them by
make the
a new
effort.
name.
It would eventually
Yeah.
happen on its own. Like, what is that?
That really.
Why would you do that?
That actually surprised me. That wasn't the answer I expected from him.
Certainly not very libertarian-esque, that's for sure. At least not in my book.
I would have.
I would have expected him to actually want to make a concerted effort
Yeah.
to be appropriate with people, be respectful with people.
Yeah, he surprised me.
I got no
in that
right to
regard.
tell you what name you want to use or how you want to appear or who you are. You have the right to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to respect it,
Yeah.
and your job is to respect me in return.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I know. But this is how these, they surprise you. They throw little ringers in there, and you think they're all about it, but then all of a sudden, they rear something up that's more in the category of being racist, or in the category of just the way you categorize people. Like, what does that show of you as an individual when you refuse to identify a person the way they've asked you to? What does that
Yeah.
say about you?
Yeah.
And why would I want to hang out with you or have anything to do with any of your ideas or any of your groups if you can't have that simple one-on-one, that simple human connection? I don't want to go hang out with you. I don't think anybody else listening is going to want to go hang out with you either.
Right.
They want to hang out with people that are going to respect them for who they are. I mean, I would certainly not want to invite anybody to any of these things because if I have a friend who is transgendered or has identified themselves as non-binary, what are they going to get in return from these people? They're going to get shoved down their throat what they think they should be, how they think they should be identified. How I'm identified as me, and that's my choice.
Yeah.
And I'll respect you, and your job is to respect me in that choice. If you can't allow me to be the individual that I choose to be, well, get out of the way, buddy, because, we're in the 21st century here, people. We're moving forward. We got forward-thinking people out there. Like we were talking about before that, Matt, with mental health, being able to talk about mental health issues.
Yeah.
Being able to talk about changing your identity and how that can affect you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get into it now, but I got a heck of a story as to how my identity was so different as a child. My sexual identity, who I am as a person, boy, girl, or none.
Yeah.
That was a serious issue for me. Coming to where I am today is taken a lot of hard work, a lot of strides, a lot of deep study, and I'm not going to let somebody else step all over who I am and disrespect me that way. That I would have done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Jen would have kowtailed to somebody else's want and desire and stepped back. She would have never stood up for herself. She would have stepped back and said, oh, whatever you want me to be.
Right.
Whatever you need me to be.
Well, we are past the top of the hour, so we will take a break, and we will be back. And we'll hear a little Public Enemy. Usually
That's a good choice. I like that.
I like to play this song. Just about once a week we play this. The original, the edited original.
I can get out some of my angst.
Yeah. And we'll be right back. More Matt Connarton Unleashed coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. We are well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in snowy downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And today is Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Jenny is here as well at the news desk.
Hello.
And I want to remind you all, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Don't go there today. Monday and Tuesday is their weekend, but they are open Wednesday through Sunday. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. They have trivia night now, Thursday nights. Friday nights, they have live music. I met recently Grant Lampton, who plays there. I don't think he's there every Friday night. I think it's like a rotating thing, but I think he's there a lot of Friday nights. Really nice guy. But
some great things going on over there.
Absolutely. And it's
Sunday brunch day.
Oh yeah.
Love that.
Please support your local businesses, and especially ours. But we'll selfishly say, please support our sponsors even more than others.
That's right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, but it is a great place, and they do everything very safely there, which is extraordinarily important. The staff is masked at all times, even out back in the kitchen, and the tables are nice and spread apart, and they do clean and sanitize really diligently.
Yep.
So they take the current circumstance of things very seriously, and I think that's part of why they're so successful, even in such a difficult time for a lot of places, is because they take it seriously. And if you go there, you're going to a place that's very safe.
I got to admit, that's how I've been. The places that I see taking it seriously and the employees aware and stuff, that's the place I'm going to be more likely to step inside of.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But if I don't like what I see through that window, I ain't coming in.
Yep.
Nope.
Exactly. If you'd like to join us, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton. Send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear your dulcet tones is call us at 603-250-6007. But if you're listening in your vehicle during your afternoon commute, please proceed with caution. It looks nasty out.
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have...
It's like it's starting to stick.
It is. It definitely is from here. I'm glad we don't have far to drive when we leave the premises.
Yes.
That's
true.
We'll say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Rob Dion is in there. Rob, of course, from Through the Stage Door here at WMNH, and he's also the entertainment reporter on the morning show with Peter White. He says, Dave the Jerk, as always. Rob Dion, not a fan of Dave Ridley.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bobby Champagne says, I wish we would not try to change asshats. Brian Mackey from Idaho says Dave doesn't have the brain space to accept it. Wow.
I know, right? Like he was so dug into that he wouldn't even go, oh, maybe you're making sense. Just dug in. Nope. You're who I want you to be.
Miriam Banish, who's a top fan, is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Miriam. Rocky Huber, who's a top fan, says, who do you think will be the next caller? LOL. Well, we haven't heard from Easy G yet today.
What's up with that?
Yeah,
I kind of miss him.
Tom Blanchard said, if I said the sky was blue, he would argue with you, referring to Dave Ridley.
Oh, I noticed. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just, I found a lot of that when I used to be involved in stuff like that. A lot of people like that.
Melanie Fedderson said, I stepped away for a moment. The show seems to be going well. Oh, Bobby Champagne says, does he still call his mother mommy? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a good, I wish I'd thought to ask him that.
Yeah, I don't see it. No.
Miriam says,
funny.
I know a lot of trans people and names change and people change as they move through life, even if they're not trans. Yep.
Yeah.
Bobby says, people call me different names as to how they know me and from where and when. I've been called at least 4 different nicknames in my life.
Goody for you.
Dan Lavasser says, she is right. She referring to you. So Dan Lavasser giving you some support there. Tom said something I can't read.
I just think it's common courtesy.
Tom said something I can't read on the air, but I think it's funny.
I have to go back and look, huh?
Well, actually, I can do a FM PG version of it. He says, I'll bet he gets excited when he argues with someone. We'll say it that way.
Oh, man.
The actual comment, I can't.
Oh, that's awful.
The actual comment would be more for the other show.
Now I really do need a shot in the beer.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, Bobby said, I try not to think about that, but I'm betting you're right, LOL.
I was laughing at Scott.
Oh, I didn't get to his, what did he say?
Yeah.
Or is it something we can't say?
Well, no, it's he was wondering if somebody else might try and call.
Oh, right. Let's see. I just want to make sure we don't miss anybody here. Oh, Rocky said, he said he'd follow your orders. Tell him stand back and stand by.
Oh,
LMAO.
wow. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Pelopita said the roads are getting slick out there, so definitely be careful. If you're heading out, getting ready to go home, or if you're out there heading home, take it slow, take it easy.
Yep.
Don't die. And what I used to say when I would see accidents is, it's job security. I'm an EMT.
Yep.
Well, you guys don't have to work so hard at that. Slow down, buddy. Slow down, clean the snow off your car.
Mike Pelopita from another one of our wonderful sponsors here at WMNH, Queen City Cabinetry. Miriam says, referring to Dave Ridley's excuse about having a bad memory or a limited memory, Miriam says, I have a terrible memory. If you make a mistake, apologize. Really. Also, if you restart your sentence using the right name, and it will help. I bet Jenny would be more patient if it was obvious you were trying.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. And that's,
Absolutely. That was the thing. That's why I got so upset.
Right, because he kept saying the wrong name.
And he was consistently
Yeah.
doing it on purpose. And
Right.
it's feeding into something that's super painful for me. Really not a cool thing or a great place to go.
Well, that was my
if somebody
point.
keeps doing that to you,
When he,
there's
when
only
he,
so much before I'm going to lose it.
when he does it initially, I believe it's just habit.
Exactly.
Because that's how he knows you. But then when he insists on doing it,
That's how he
Yeah.
knew me years ago. He hasn't been in the same room with me in years.
right.
So, I mean, let's just put that out there.
Bobby said, "Thank you, Dave, for the aggravating call." Yeah, Dave Ridley is he tends to be a villain in the Facebook live chat.
I don't know if he has any friends in the Facebook live chat, to be honest
I don't
with
know if
you.
anyone in the chat likes him.
Now that you mention that, it could have something to do with the fact that he doesn't listen.
Miriam says my heart rate and anxiety have increased.
He makes Easy's listening skills look Stella perfect.
Bobby says I don't like the emotional investment. I look for this show to be entertaining. I think a good radio argument is entertaining
Because
though.
you're a meanie. Evil.
It's because I went to the Howard Stern School of
You
Broadcasting.
hang out with Peter too much.
Listening to Howard Stern, like my favorite thing has always been when there's arguments among the staff. Oh, that's great. That's
This is
the
true.
best
You
stuff.
have been listening to an awful lot of them lately.
I have, yeah.
I don't know. I think that satellite radio in the car was a bit of a mistake.
Mm.
I don't know if we're going to have you getting good habits out of this thing or not.
Yeah. Let's see.
I can't look at the chat room and drink my ginger ale at the same time or it's not going to come out.
Miriam said.
Oh, well.
Miriam said it's really about respecting boundaries. My brother-in-law kept saying of my non-binary child, quote, "She's going to have to learn. She's a girl sometime," and it just infuriated me. Yeah, that is.
Exactly. Yeah, I hear you there, and that's such a rude and awful thing to say.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, if this whole thing we started at the beginning of the show talking about how important it is to talk about things in our lives when it comes to mental health and physical health, and this just goes to show you how important it is to have good, healthy conversations, because it's people like him out there that really do a detriment to other people. It's people like him that don't care and will hurt other people that can put somebody off on the wrong edge too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got to take this seriously. I know we joke around and everything, and I'm not trying to make a huge deal out of it, but it's a moment to take stock and let's have respect for each other. You know, if somebody stops me, if I said a name wrong, I was introduced to a young lady and I spelt her name wrong constantly, and I was terrible. And I would always when they would say something like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Let me fix that now."
Yeah.
It wasn't hard for me to do. It didn't take anything away from me to give that person
Yeah.
just an ounce of respect.
Yeah. Like I said, he genuinely surprised me on some of that.
I think you just got to see a little bit of what I didn't like.
Mm.
I mean, and you've heard the stories, you've heard them from other people, and we've talked a lot about them here on the show about how dangerous these groups can be.
He does remind me a little bit of Michael Douglas in Falling Down.
Really?
Mm. Tom Blanchard says, referring to Dave Ridley, isn't he a paparazzi annoying journalist that just tries to get a reaction out of someone?
That's true.
I give him more credit than that.
Nah, not so much.
I think it's cool to put our elected lawgivers and overlords on the spot with questions maybe they don't want to ask. I think it's a good thing.
To a point, but ask something that's meaty, that matters. It's going to make a difference in somebody's life today.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask about whether or not we should exit the union. Okay? That's just stupid. If you got to get a second with somebody, make it count. Jesus.
Right, right.
Just make it count, man.
Yeah.
Now, this snow is supposed to stop tonight. I don't think it's supposed to continue all week. I think the morning might be a little bit.
Oh, yeah. We're just supposed to
better.
get a couple in, just enough to make it slippery, but it's not going to accumulate too much. Scott Robinson's asking, does Ridley have Asperger's by any chance?
No.
I have no idea. No? You say no?
I no. And, well, to my knowledge, I should say,
Right.
no. In all the years that I've known him, no. And I would actually be a little defensive in the sense, and please don't get too upset with me, but please don't say stuff like that, because don't use that as to be some kind of excuse for his terrible behavior, because it's not. It's just not, and it's not. I mean, he just shows you his true colors. I mean, there's no other word for it. It's not because he's sick or diseased or having a problem. It's just because he's a jerk.
Miriam says, I know a bit about Asperger's, and I do not want that to be used to excuse asinine behavior.
See? Exactly what I just said. She's 100% right. No disease should ever be an excuse for ill behavior anyway.
Right.
Period.
Stephen Philbrook, who is a top fan, says driving home from the Seacoast was fine until I got reception of the station and heard the irrelevant clown on. Yeah, they're really...
That's a neat new nickname for him. There he goes. He said he'd like to have nicknames.
Yeah.
Irrelevant clown. I like it. Irrelevant clown. Kind of rolls off the tongue. Almost a little sexy there,
Wow.
Irrelevant clown.
Oh, my.
Yeah, the irrelevant clown is not ill. He's just a jerk.
I wanted to play something, by the way, that... and then I closed out the window on this computer by mistake. Let me see if I can find it again quickly.
Which one were...
Merrick Garland.
Confirmation hearing was today.
Yes.
Yeah, it was rather interesting. I saw some of it.
Well, there was a particular exchange he had with. I was in the car, but did you see him talking with Cory Booker, Senator?
No,
Cory
I did
Booker?
not see him with Booker. I saw him with. He had a good back and forth with the chairman and others. Just some no-brainer questions like, if we ask you for information, will you give it?
Yeah.
The kind of things the former AG's office never did.
There was a particularly, and by the way, he's a slam dunk to get confirmed. When
Garland? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well,
When
President Obama nominated him for the Supreme Court, part of why he nominated Garland at the time was, the feeling was that, Merrick Garland has always been very popular among both Democrats and Republicans and has their respect. So, and of course, Mitch McConnell made sure that, they couldn't even get a hearing. But
I believe one of the people on the committee today actually made a comment about regretting not voting for them.
Yeah.
For him. There was a comment like
that.
Well,
it never came to a vote because Mitch McConnell wouldn't even allow it.
Right, because they weren't going to allow it.
But yeah, Lindsey Graham did say, he's going to support.
I did see some of Lindsey Graham's.
Yeah,
that's who I saw with some of his.
He likes Merrick Garland. I'm sure if Daddy told him to not like him, then he would change his mind immediately.
Of course.
If Daddy Trump made he can't make a mean tweet anymore.
Well, even though he tries to steal other people's phones so he can. That's what I saw. I saw a report that was like he's trying to get his kids to give him their phone.
I'm sure.
Give me your phone. Let me type one thing.
I'm sure, yeah.
Give me 200 characters. Come on.
There was a moment that really struck me where Merrick Garland was talking about. Actually, it speaks for itself, but it was at the end of his exchange with Senator Booker. It's just a couple minutes long, but...
And stop charging the highest possible offense with the highest possible sentence.
I was taught in law school never to interrupt a judge of your
I don't think it applies.
So forgive me. I would like to end with this question, and then my time is up.
Yeah.
You've talked to me a lot about your thoughts about this, and I've been really inspired. But it gets back to your conviction in this issue and your determination to go down at a time when our nation needs this. To go down as one of the great leaders when it comes to dealing with the daily unconscionable injustices faced by some Americans and not others at the hands of law enforcement. And I think that one thing you said to me privately particularly motivated me to believe you when you talk about your aspirations. And I'm wondering if you could just conclude by answering the question about your motivation and maybe some of your own family history in confronting hate and discrimination in American history.
Yes, Senator. So, I come from a family where my grandparents fled anti-Semitism and persecution. The country took us in. And protected us. And I feel an obligation to the country to pay back. And this is the highest, best use of my own set of skills to pay back. And so I want very much to be the kind of attorney general that you're saying I could become. And I'll do my best to try to be that kind of attorney general.
I believe your heart, and I'm grateful that you are living that Micah mandate.
Thank you, Senator.
Oh, sorry for that extra audio at the end. But yeah, I thought that was, you know what?
Wow, that was powerful. That took me a minute to just absorb. The emotion, the honesty in his statement.
Yeah.
I miss that America. I miss that America so much. I'm so done with all this hatred and just people willing to just throw each other out with the trash. They just don't even care. I miss an America that cares.
Mm-hmm.
I miss people that really want to do the right things. There are lives on the line right now. We talk about a lot of stuff, but bottom line is all these different people, all these decisions, whether you like politics or not, they get into your life and they change things in your world. We really need that. We need some heart back, some kindness, some empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that so much. And to hear somebody have that much, like I feel like he will be a better AG because of that, because of where he's coming from.
Yeah. You know what? That moment reminded me of, and of course my mind goes there, which reminds me, I forgot to play Shock Me by Kiss at the break. Gene Simmons, though, if you ever see an interview, and it's easy to find these clips on YouTube, if you ever see an interview with Gene Simmons, talking about when he and his mother first came to this country, and he gets very choked up. It's a different side of Gene. He gets very choked up talking about him and his mother arriving in America.
His mom has the tattoo on her arm from being in a concentration camp.
She passed away a couple years ago, but yeah, she and he tells the story about when they arrived in New York, and his mother didn't know the protocol. She gave the Nazi salute because she assumed, there's people in military uniforms there. She assumed that that's what she was supposed to do, and somebody put her arm down, grabbed her arm and put her arm down and told her, "You will never have to do that again." And,
I remember that.
Yeah, and when Gene tells that story, he gets very choked up, but he has that same feeling of, he's very patriotic, and he talks about coming to America. He barely spoke any English, and it was just him and his mom. His father, nobody knew where his father was, but it reminded me of that. But
It does. I've heard him speak. I've watched the videos on YouTube, and it is amazing to hear. Gene Simmons is always like the party animal guy, right? He's out there, rawr, big costume, makeup, to hear him talk about his mom, and talk about what it was like coming to New York. Because I don't think a lot of people even remember that he wasn't born here.
Right. He was born in Israel.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was naturalized. He's a naturalized citizen.
Haifa, if I'm not mistaken. He was born in Haifa, Israel. Yeah. He was 12 years old when they came to this country.
So hearing him talk about that, the emotion in him, the person that you see that little 12-year-old boy, and what it meant to him, and what it meant to see a tattoo on his mother's arm her whole life, and what that meant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're looking at somebody you love and care about, and they're branded like cattle, because that's what they were going to be treated as,
Yeah.
And I would encourage anybody to go listen to it, because I think it changes you a little bit when you hear people like Gene Simmons talking that have that real one first person perspective to come forward, because there aren't that many of them left in this world.
Yeah.
We're losing people who were in those perspectives that saw that.
Oh, yeah.
That, and it's important that we keep those stories alive. There is truth to say that we can be doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past if we forget it.
Yeah. I want to, by the way, this more, but we'll save it for another time. But there's more from the hearing with Merrick Garland today, where he talks about, the cannabis policy in the country, people going to prison for for that. But we do have a call, so we'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's Gary.
Hey, Gary. How you doing? Welcome.
Okay, I was thinking on your and hi, Jenny.
Hi.
I'm calling about the mental health and the mental illness. I'm suffering with deep depression, anxiety,
Yep.
and I finally hit the wall in November. I had to go to the hospital, and it was awful. You know, I was having suicidal thoughts and things, and then they put me at a psych hospital for a little while, and I never was that way. I always tried to help everybody and do everything, and then finally, like I said, I hit the wall for myself. I wasn't working. You know, my job was, they closed me down and stuff like that. I'm 62.
Yeah.
So it's like, where am I going to go? You know, and I didn't have anybody to really talk to and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home from the hospital, and I decided that no one wanted me, and I didn't want to be in the world anymore, and I decided to end it, and I went into the hospital, and then I came out, and I got some help now. I got my two guardian angels that take care of me now, and I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
so proud of you for being able to share that.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you for being able to share that. That's so huge. Thank
It's
you.
just, when you've always been around people, and you try to help people,
Gary, are you is this something, is it a situation where depression is something you've struggled with for a long time, and the circumstances of the pandemic?
My therapist told me it was that.
Yeah.
I had nobody, my family. I haven't talked to my family in 20 years.
Wow.
In 20 years.
I can relate to that.
They won't bother with me. They won't do anything, and I've reached out to everybody. And when I got married to my ex-wife, they didn't like it. And then when I got divorced, it was like they were having a party.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
And my mom was my best friend. She's been gone for 13 years, and she was my best friend. I took care of her. She took care of me, and
yeah.
And
sounds like a great woman.
It's just when everything happened like that, I just blew it off and said, "Oh well, it's a part of life. It's a part of life." But then, like I said, in November, I hit the wall.
Yeah.
I hit the wall, and now I'm with the mental health people, and they got me some help, and I take one medication for the anxiety, but I just, I try to talk to people about it, and I was so embarrassed, and now I'm not really embarrassed anymore.
Yeah. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, Gary, and I'm glad that you're able to call in and talk about it, especially in a time when, so many people are people, depression is very common anyway. It's so widespread. I've struggled with it my whole life, and but now too with the pandemic, it's ratcheted up, so much so many people. So many people are struggling, and the anxiety level just in the country overall is so high now, and it's
I spent the week at Pathways, and it was so enlightening. I got some good people. I was able to express myself, with other people.
That's great.
And they gave me so good, because I like to write poetry and I like to write, and I had a block and I couldn't do it anymore. And then when I was there, they kind of unblocked it a little, and I was able to write. So I wrote some poetry, and
Oh, I love poetry. I'd love to read some of it.
I wrote a little story about some people. I put their people's names in it, for it's a child's, it's gonna be a children's story. I took animals that I knew, like I got Jeff the moose and Bart the bear, and
I like that. Bart the bear.
and I got Debbie the deer, and she had twin does.
Yeah.
Aw.
And they're both two girls that help me out. So I talked to both of them. They're both my therapists, and I put them in my story. And I said, "Well, you got a decision. One, because you got a distinguishing mark." I says, "It's that your eyes." I says, "Someone has to have green eyes. Someone has to have brown eyes. So one of them she has hazel eyes. So she says." I said, "Well, you're going to be green eyes." And she goes, "Oh, and my other therapist, which is my real guardian angel, she's got brown eyes." So I said, "Yeah." So I did little things like that, and I have we have two hawks that live around here, and I got Big Red and Helen. They're the couple, and I got Sal the falcon.
Yeah.
Sal, because I remembered a friend of mine in New Jersey, and he was always like that, "How you doing?" type of guy, and
Yeah.
he'd always
that.
groom himself,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to see this falcon and he used to groom himself. So that's my falcon. I'm putting them all together, and it's helping me. It's my therapy. It helps me. When I get anxiety, I just go outside and I breathe in the air, and I pray and I sit and I breathe and I meditate. And but I just wanted to call and say, hey, I'm dealing with it, and
Thank
for
you.
about all the time, after my mom died and everything, I never celebrated Christmas or New Year's or even my birthday.
Yeah.
No one ever said happy birthday to me. No one ever, I would sit and I would buy myself a little chocolate, cupcake, and I'd put a little candle in it and sing happy birthday to me, and then I'd eat my chocolate, and that'd be it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that would be my,
Yeah.
So now I'm getting help, and I'm getting some programs where I can be with people, and because I was just, I was by myself. I come home, sit by myself. I love my job, and, people on the weekends would say, hey, it's weekend me. I'd be like, I hope Monday comes really soon so I can go back and be into work. And then I had to get forced to have a week off for vacation because I didn't have any money. I didn't have anywhere to go or do anything. So I would just be really, anxious, and I didn't know it was, the depression and the anxiety. And then finally, but I know what it feels. And so now I'm doing pretty well and
good,
getting some stuff done, and I feel a little better, but I still have that every once in a while, the depression, but I don't have the suicidal thoughts.
Good.
That's
good.
You've done a lot of hard work.
I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that right. So I'm still here.
There's a whole George Carlin. Maybe you've heard it. There's a whole George Carlin bit.
I love
about
George
that.
Carlin.
Yeah.
But well, I'm glad you couldn't do that right, Gary. I'm glad that you're still with us, and I'm glad that you got help. And it's
Thank you for sharing.
I hear some of your topics, and I can relate to some of the topics, and I'm like, and I just love hearing Jenny too, because I know I could hear her things. And
I
I'm
feel
going
bad
like,
for getting mad.
geez,
or
I'm only depressed, and she's going through this whole crap thing for her life, you know. And every day is a blessing for her. She wakes up, and you guys wake up together and say, "Hey, good morning," and have breakfast together, and and me, I'm just, I have that depression, but I'm like, I've always been a person that, like helped everybody and just like felt, for someone, and
Empathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're all searching for that love and belonging, and I hear what you're saying, and
People
I can
just,
feel it in a way. And I know it can be hard sometimes, but you so belong here. We love you. And I love you so much for being willing to share. Because the more of us that are able to talk about things like this, the more lives we save, the more people can have happy lives. We can make our lives better for each other just by sharing.
Yeah, and you're getting a lot of support in the Facebook live chat, Gary. I don't know if you're on Facebook, but
I just I've been alone for so long that it just it really started this this year, and then just different things, and
well, with the pandemic, it's everyone's more isolated than ever, and if you already feel isolated,
my big thing is the radio.
Do you go on to, well, I know you go onto social media. One of the things that I just recently started doing was video chatting with some of my friends instead of just texting and typing. Actually getting into one of those video calls, like on Facebook Messenger, just doing the video thing, just to be able to see that person's face.
I don't have a computer. I'm old school.
Old
I just
school?
have my phone to say hi. How are you?
Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and call a friend. I have a girlfriend down in Virginia that I get the urge to do that.
My therapist has a new thing she wants to try me with, where people can call and talk, and we can have a conversation and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just socialize, because that's what I need to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get more social. I was a big social guy when I was younger and had my friends, but they all left and did other things, and I took care of my mom for all that time and just didn't have any time for myself and stuff like that. And then finally,
You're not alone, buddy. You are not alone. And you can pick up the phone and,
like I said,
pick up that phone and call us anytime.
She'd smack me in the head when I did something stupid.
Right? My grandma would do that.
And
she'd get me by the back of the ear and go, "Get over here."
I'm a spiritual person. I don't go to church, but I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I sit here and I meditate, and I can hear my mom. And if I did something stupid, she'd smack me in the head. I could feel it.
I had an auntie that right before she died, she told me, "Ganendel, if you feel a zets, that's me, because you're messing up." If I ever felt a little pain in my tuchus, in my bottom, I knew it was one of my aunties.
A zets?
Oh, I could hear someone yell. I could hear, and I said, "Oh, that's my mom." I could hear my mom yell.
Gary, we're going to have to let you go because we're out of time on today's show. But
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
You guys are just so just so good. And
thank you
again. But
you are so nice.
Thanks for the love.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the love.
Call in again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the call.
I'd love to hear from you again.
A big hug from me and some love from my heart.
Cyber hugs coming at you. Good juju coming through the speakers.
There you go. All right, Gary. All right. Thank you so much for the call, my friend. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
You guys stay safe.
All right, man. You too. Bye-bye.
Love you both. Love you, Jenny.
Oh, love you.
Oh, you too.
I will always call you Jenny.
I love
Jenny.
you. You are such a gentleman.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
All right, Gary. Bye-bye. Oh, very nice call. Very nice call.
I'm so proud of him for being able to talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to, and before we run out of time, because he was getting a lot of support in the Facebook live chat, just quickly, Miriam Banish said that's great. Bobby Champagne says depression has hit everyone this year in one way or another. So much sadness and adversity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is hard on everybody. Everybody's feeling a little lonelier and isolated. We got to think about new ways to come out to each other, right?
Oh, absolutely. Mike Pelopita says from Queen City Cabinetry, Gary, you can come by my store and hang out anytime.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Very nice. Miriam Banish says, OMG, I will buy you a cupcake and sing to you, perhaps tunelessly, but what I lack in talent, I make up for with enthusiasm.
Her heart is so big.
Very nice.
Mike Gonzalez said he'd hang out. Want to hang out with you, Gary?
Yep, absolutely. Gonzo, yeah. Tom Blanchard says peace and love to your brother. And Abigail Jem says, I'm glad you got help, Gary. Absolutely. There are a lot of nice comments in there. We can't get to all of them, but no, I'm just I'm glad that, hey, get help. If you need help, get it. There's no stigma at this point. It's millions of people.
I keep my therapist in my back pocket, I say.
Yeah, there you go.
And all her little tips and tricks to keep me better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we are out of time. So if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org.
Is that hairball?
Yeah, what?
You.
Oh, right.
That hairball.
Yes. Or that's how you pronounce it.
No, that's how kitties. I got to give you your hairball, Minnie.
Oh, Kristen Lacoste says, all my friends are the reason I'm here. Very nice. Very nice.
Much love to everybody in the chat room.
Oh, and Miriam says, what a beautiful way to end the show that started out so hard. Yes.
Seriously, right? And you know what? Thank you, Gary, for reminding me that what we do here does matter. And to be mindful that you're out there listening. I think I could tone down my anger a little bit.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the reality. I needed that. But yeah,
I just got a message from Gonzo, but I don't know how to. Oh, we'll figure that out. All right. Very good. Okay, well, we do have to go.
Been a very busy show.
Very busy show. I'm trying to play the outro music, but it's
you're stuck.
Well, something.
I love it.
Went wrong there.
That's not the button, Maddie.
Try that again. There we go. All right, that's it for us for now. Talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.